you already stumbling side to side. That's okay, don't know what you're talking about anyway. My head starts spinning, still hear what you gotta say. I see your friends, they're always trying to pull you away. I'm in today, what's it gonna be? It's like I'm talking to the one from all my dreams and they're just walking away. Nothing to say. I'm begging you to look at me, baby, but all you wanna do is get faded. You got shades on in the room, and everyone can see right through. I'm begging you to look at me, baby. Been a while, damn, I keep dreaming about that smile. I heard them say, when the hell did she get so wild? Girl, what's your plan? All I see is you posted up on the gram. My head starts spinning, had me thinking I could be your man. I see your friends, they're always trying to pull you away. I'm in today, what's it gonna be? It's like I'm talking to the one from all my dreams and they're just walking away. Nothing to say. I'm begging you to look at me, baby, but all you wanna do is get faded. You got shades on in the room, and everyone can see right through.
Ha 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 ha. I'm 10 seconds late. And that is totally for a good reason. Which is, my stream was compiling. I can also hear myself apparently. There we go, that's much better. Alright, okay, we're back. And I think the volumes are right, I think everyone can hear me. So, we're back again with another stream. The last one was a week ago where we talked about Gamescom. We talked about what you should do when you find someone who is making the exact same game as you. And how to kind of deal with that. Which I'm happy to recap in a second as well in case people missed that. And then today, because last time we also talked about splines and AI and trying to figure it all out, but it was a little difficult. So we're going to look some more into that today. But more importantly, we have another game dev topic today. We're going to talk about why devlogs are such an incredibly terrible idea. I know that might be a slightly unpopular opinion, but that's okay. I'm happy to go against the grain. I'm happy to be the hero that no one asked for. Which, in case the sarcasm isn't coming through, is 100% sarcastic. But so yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. But I'd most like to know how everyone is. If there's anything specific you came across in the last week or so that you'd love to discuss. If you have any questions in terms of like AAA stuff. Because obviously I'm more than happy to answer stuff based on my own experiences. So yeah, so it's going to be a fun stream. We're going to stream for about an hour and a half-ish, give or take. Because I don't have too long today, but I'll make up for that with the bonus stream in the next week or so. So yeah, we're going to do that. So I hope everyone's okay. I'm just going to slowly start getting set up for the game dev topic of what to do, or no, not what to do, why devlogs are such a absolutely terrible idea. Also, why the hell do I look like a ghost? Hold on. If I do this, it doesn't make it much better. It makes it much worse actually. But I guess it's more the brightness of my screen. If I step back a little, well, I'm still very white. I'm still very pale. I'm still very pale. Also, to anyone that loves tea, cheers. It's oh god, it's Mike Wazowski time. That's the kind of tea we're having today, which is still way too hot. I definitely can't drink that. Also have a Coke, you know, because energy. All right, so let me press a button. This one. There we go. Cool. Which reminds me, I should change the current activity text, shouldn't I? Which I can do on this notepad, which is why devlogs are a terrible idea. Because they are. They really, really are. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm absolutely going to tell you why. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm just grabbing my own points that I want to make. Alright. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's make sure I can see chat at the same time, so I can answer any questions that come through. Alright, so let's increase size to devlog or not to devlog. That's the question of today, right? Because I see this all the time, right? Like, pretty much every question related to marketing on any game dev subreddit is kind of like prefaced by, so I started doing a devlog, but, or whatever, and then the question follows, right? And every single time I hear someone say, I started a devlog, I think to myself, what a shame. What an absolute shame. Because this is 100% a waste of time for most, if not all, game developers. And the exact why we're going to dive into in a second, because even though I believe it, I'd love to discuss it. I have my reasons for it. And so let's dive into this game dev topic. And so for those of you that don't know me, that are entirely new to the stream, my name's Christopher. Welcome to my Twitch channel. I basically spend a lot of time diving into the game development process based on my own AAA experience. And we basically talk about, okay, how do we become better game developers? I'm also going to pause the music. That's something to become a better streamer. How do we become better game developers? And where do we start with that? And what are like the common pitfalls and stuff like that? And that's basically everything that I discuss on this channel. So if you like that kind of stuff, then welcome. I hope you have a great time. And if you have any feedback, then of course, as always, feel free to let me know. So today, we're looking into why devlogs are a waste of time in most cases, and how you can spend your time much more efficiently to gain more traction and to create a better game in the process of doing so, right? So let's dive into it. Let's have a look. So first off, right, before we dive into why I think that it's a waste of time, we first got to determine what is the purpose of your devlog, right? What is it? Because without a purpose, you're gonna fail to achieve anything with it, right? But that's with anything in life. So what is your purpose? Is it to gain traction? Is it to gain feedback? Is it to teach new things to people? Is it to, what else do I have on my list? Is it to keep yourself accountable? Or is it to share cool achievements? Right, which one of these things is it? And I mean, you kind of get the idea, right? Which one of these things is the purpose of your devlog? Because determining that is going to, at the very minimum, make clear by what measurements you can actually measure whether it's working or not, right? If the goal of your devlog is to teach people new things, then the amount of views doesn't matter as much as, for example, the comments of people saying, oh my god, this helped me so much, right? Whereas vice versa, if you're trying to gain a lot of traction, then the amount of people that say like, oh my god, I learned so much from this, doesn't matter as much as the amount of views and likes and you know, people saying, I want this game, I'm going to buy it, etc., right? So by determining your purpose, at the very minimum, you're going to avoid the mistake of just making a devlog just because, right? Don't make a devlog just to make a devlog. Make a devlog. It achieves nothing besides losing a whole lot of time. But that's actually the next thing we're diving into, right? Because even though you might know the purpose of your devlog, what you don't know or what you don't realize is that devlogs take a ton of time to get right? Because I mean, anyone can make a basic devlog in, I don't know, 20 minutes, I guess, if you just straight up record your screen and just zoom around the engine and just talk about what you're showing, that could be it. But if you're trying to get it right and you're trying to get it to be informative, or you're trying to get it more presentable so that it they can gain traction or whatever, then it takes a lot more time. Because what comes with a devlog is one of the hats that I like most developers to entirely ignore, or at least at the start entirely ignore, which is that you need to put time and effort into writing a script, recording the footage, recording the voiceover. You need to edit the video together. You need to upload it to YouTube, which is not just a click of a button. There's quite a lot of stuff you have to fill out and quite a lot of stuff you have to figure out. And the most important thing here is that all of the time spent on doing/learning how to do this is time not spent on your game. Which really is the most important thing, right? Your game is your vessel. Without your game, without a good game, or even without a shit game, you have nothing to devlog about, right? That is the basis of everything. That's the basis of why you're even devlogging. So all of the time you spend doing this, you are not spending on your game. And that is, for me personally, that is one of the main reasons why I think devlogs are a terrible idea and an absolute waste of time, because that same time can be spent on your actual game. Now, there are some caveats, and I'm going to dive into that. But another thing, right? For example, let's say your goal is to gain traction, right? For your game to be noticed, for people to like it, for it to grow bigger, to grow a following, etc., etc. If that is the case, you need to spend extra time on learning discoverability on platforms like YouTube, right? Long-form content platforms like YouTube. Because wouldn't it be a shame if you spent, I don't know, 10 hours? 10 hours seems pretty reasonable for a proper devlog. If you spent 10 hours on a devlog and then 5 people see it, that'd be pretty shit. That'd be pretty bad, right? That'd be really, really shit if that were to happen. And so you need to keep that in mind when you start a devlog, likely on YouTube. I don't imagine anyone doing it on any other platform, so YouTube will be like my go-to platform of example. When you're starting to use YouTube, you're going to need to learn how to use tags and how to make titles, how to make thumbnails, and all of this kind of stuff to make your content discoverable on the YouTube platform, which is ruled by an algorithm, of course. So, you need to do the right things to make sure that there's enough eyeballs on your content. And so that's another big thing that you have to spend time on. So ultimately, in this case, you have to ask yourself, is spending all this time justified for the value you will get in return? Which likely isn't a lot. Or at least not compared to some other options you have. So that is the first point, why I think devlogs are a horrible waste of time. The second point, right? The second point is that you need to have the skill to present what you are doing. Now, this one sounds a little rough. That's because it is. Not everyone has this skill. Not everyone has the ability to clearly and slowly explain what is going on, why you're doing things the way you are, and how someone else can benefit from that, right? Not everyone has that skill. Not everyone has this skill, right? And it's true. With enough practice, anyone can become a master presenter. Like, that is 100% true. I used to be super, super bad at presenting. Like I would get super nervous. I would forget all of my words. I would stutter a lot. And so I was really, really bad at it. Until at one point, I was put in front of a room of 300 people, and I had to present. Like, there was no other option. So quickly before I went into that room, I googled the best tips for learning how to present, and some of the best ones there. And I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but some of the best ones there was talk slower than you normally would, because it really helps you articulate every part of your sentence, which is super important, and it really reduces the amount of stuttering or umming that you'll do. And the second tip was to essentially take it one sentence at a time, which sounds kind of weird, but it's true. It's okay if you take a pause to think about what you're going to say next. Usually that looks like you are informed on what you're going to say, which looks good. That's a good thing. So again, everyone can learn this skill, but you'll have to spend time on it, which is again time not spent on making your game better, or even finding out that your game isn't good enough to serve as a commercial project, right? So when you're thinking of doing a devlog, please keep this in mind. It's okay if you're bad at presenting, because you can learn to do it better, but make sure that you understand that the only way you're gonna do better with being a presenter is by doing it more, which means it costs more time, which means, again, you'd have to make that choice of, okay, is this worth it? Am I going to get out of this what I need to get out of it? And then ultimately, what if you spend 10 hours on each devlog and you upload 10 of them, only to find out you now have 20 followers. So just for the math, that means 100 hours equals 20 followers. 20 people that have followed your profile wherever you are, and that like your game and might buy it when it comes out. Again, for the sake of the math, for the sake of the math here, if you were to do, I don't know, 100 devlogs, right, equals 1,000 hours, equals 200 followers. And to put that into perspective, 1,000 hours is give or take 40-ish, 42, 43, 42-ish days. Right? I can't do the exact math, but 42-ish days. Full days, 24-hour days, to get 200 followers. Is that worth it? That's my question to you. Is those 1,000 hours spent on gaining 200 people that might buy your game, that like your game and might buy it, even if we assume all 200 of them are going to buy it, which won't be the case, but let's assume, is that worth it? Is that worth the 1,000 hours that you'll have to spend on it? Because if the answer to that question is even slightly no, or you're even slightly hesitating whether that's worth it or not, then personally, in my opinion, I'd say you're on the right path and don't do it. Right? If you're hesitating if that's worth it or not, please do not do that. It's as simple as that. Because if you're hesitating about spending 1,000 hours on something, then you might just not want to do that. It's that simple. If you don't think those 1,000 hours are worth it, then don't do it. It really can't get any simpler than that. So, yeah, don't do that. Then additionally, I realized I forgot to mention something here. Because not only do you have to be a good presenter, but even if you become a good presenter, your content, the devlogs, needs to be entertaining as well. Because videos on YouTube are ultimately content. That is what they are. It is something to be enjoyed. And so I'm not talking stuff like over-the-top editing and memes and jokes and whatever stuff like that. I'm not talking about any of that. I am purely talking about the fact that you can't just talk for 15 minutes straight in a monotone voice, not making any kinds of references to your craft, and expecting people to just follow along with dry, raw explanations of stuff. Of things that they, by the way, have no investment in. Like, you have emotional investment in the game you're working on. The people watching your devlogs, they don't. And it is your job to make sure that they do. So if you can't make your content entertaining, then you're going to have a really hard time with it. And it makes us kind of come back full circle. Does that mean that maybe spending all that time isn't worth it? Right? So keep asking that question when you're thinking about a devlog. But that isn't everything, because of course, you might be wondering to yourself, or at least I think I would. So, Chris, if a devlog isn't a good idea, how in the world do I gain traction or achieve any of my other goals? Well, let me tell you, because of course I thought of that. This is a prepared piece of content. This is not. I'm not improvising this. I could have done, but I didn't, because I knew this question was coming. So let's start. Let's start with traction, right? Because that's obviously, well, most of the time it's one of the most important metrics, or one of the most important purposes of a devlog, right? How do I gain good traction? Now, I don't want to turn this into a full-on, like, entire TED Talk on marketing, because I don't think I'm the right person for that. And it's not really entirely the purpose of this piece of content. But I will say that there are so many better ways, better and easier ways to gain traction. Like, for example, using Reddit and TikTok. Yay! Now, why do I say that? Because I genuinely believe in it. And I even have an example to back it up. Because I've got hard data. I've got science. So, and that science is completely anecdotal. So, here is a post by me from 8 months ago. Jesus Christ, 8 months ago. Which says, first image of my prototype. I flared it as a screenshot, and I posted this on r/indiedev, and it got 92 upvotes and 11 comments. Well, actually, I think it was like 5 comments by other people, and then me responding to a bunch of them. Right? This post took me 5 minutes to make. Right? And every bit of work I put into making the screenshot for this post was work on my game, right? That was work I was going to do anyway. And so, realistically, with those 5 minutes, because with those 5 minutes, I gained 5 extra followers on my Reddit profile. Now, this prototype doesn't exist anymore, and we've canned this a while ago, but either way, the point is, it took me 5 minutes to get 5 followers. If we do the same kind of math that we did up here, I would have way more followers than the 1,000 in the same 1,000 hours, right? And this was just one post on one subreddit. I should have posted this also on r/game dev, there's indie game dev, there's general game dev, there's like Unreal Engine, there is a bunch of other engine ones. I think there's a few Screenshot Saturday ones as well. There were so many places where I could have posted this for even more traction that I think if I took the whole hour to post this in, I don't know, 10 different subreddits, then the returns on that hour would have been exponentially more than the same hour that I would have spent on 1/10 of a devlog, right? So, for gaining traction, Reddit and TikTok. And remember, if you're going to use these platforms, the content has to be hyper-focused, hyper-focused. And for TikTok, really visual, right? TikTok doesn't work for text content, right? Or, well, 9 out of 10 times it won't. It'll work a lot better to make it really visual. For Reddit, text content can be really good. It can really work, but in the context of your own project, I'm not entirely sure. So it's something to look out for. But so that's the first question answered. Now, let's see. What was next? Oh yeah, a better way to show off your skills. What is it? How could you possibly do this? Reddit and LinkedIn. And I'm just checking my notes. Smiley face. That's all I put in my notes here. And I think that is because if you're looking to show off your skills because you're a Niagara ninja that can do all kinds of crazy shit with fluid simulations, and then just show that. There's no need to necessarily make a devlog about that, and unless you're trying to teach people how to do it. But again, we'll get to a different part in a second. So yeah, so if you're willing to show off your skills, Reddit and LinkedIn. That's really the way to go, in my opinion. So then, next question. How do I gain good feedback? It might surprise you, it might not, but it is our great friend Reddit once again. Yay! Now, of course, Reddit is such a great place for this kind of content, for game dev related content, because, and again, I'll say I kind of touched upon it earlier. YouTube is content. Reddit is a conversation. Like, this is inherently true. Like, on YouTube, all you'll have is a parasocial relationship with the person you're watching, right? You are enjoying what they've made. On Reddit, the instant... It's not even an assumption. It's almost inherent in the behavior of Reddit users. Every post on Reddit is meant to be reacted to, is meant to be talked about, is meant to be discussed, is meant to be shit on. It's instantly an open conversation between you and, I don't know, 100 million other Reddit users, maybe even more. I have no idea how many Reddit users there are, but a lot of other Reddit users. And so if you're looking for good feedback, you want that conversation. You don't want people looking at your content and having to go to a YouTube comment and then typing whatever they thought. Because, again, YouTube is not geared for that kind of interaction. Whereas Reddit is, right? Now, if you want to specifically know any of the subreddits that I tend to frequent for feedback, I think for me it's r/gamedev for sure. r/indiedev is a good one. r/destroymygame is a pretty good one. r/playmygame is a pretty good one. And I think I'll stick to those 4. I think those 4 are pretty good recommendations. So that's how I would suggest to gain good feedback. Then a better way to teach things. Now, and I'm actually just gonna let's see what did I have in my notes. Yeah, okay. So if you're really looking to teach people something about a specific concept or a specific engine or program or whatever, then I would suggest making specific videos for those topics, right? Specific videos for certain topics, instead of making a devlog about your project. So, for example, and I'm going to copy this over because I'm not going to type this twice. So, for example, things like how to start with X program, how to start with X engine, how to do cell shading in Blender, how to create Genji in Blueprints, how to make an idle game in Godot or Godot or whatever, etc., etc., etc. And then what you can do, ultimately, you can then use what you are teaching and show it in the context of your own project. But this is second to the content of you teaching something, not the main thing, right? And so, yeah, if you really want to teach people things, then this would be the way to go. Make specific topics, or make videos about specific topics that are really easily found and like easily Googled. And then if you really wanted to, you could say, well, now that I've shown you how to do cell shading in Blender, look at how I did it in my project. I've done this and this and this. I've set up these settings, etc., etc., etc. Then you can do stuff like that, because then it's a nice combination. People are learning stuff, and they can see it in practice, right? So that's what I would recommend in case you're looking to teach things. So, ultimately, conclusion-wise, and I'm just thinking about where I want to go with this conclusion, because I did write something down, but I had some extra thoughts throughout talking just now. I sometimes do that, where I go a little bit off script. That happens. So ultimately, if you want to do devlogs, even after what we talked about today, then go ahead and do that. That is totally fine, right? I'm not gonna stop you from making a devlog if that's what you want to spend your time on. That's totally fine by me. Don't let me stop you. Like, seriously, literally don't let me stop you. But you have to ask yourself the question, do I find the time spent on making devlogs worth it compared to what I will gain from it, and compared to losing that same amount of time on developing my game, right? If you find that worth it, great. By all means, go ahead. You're doing amazing. If you don't find that worth it, please, for the love of God, do not spend your time on this. Do not spend time on a devlog, okay? And additionally, and I think that's something I wanted to mention all at the start, but I keep forgetting to mention it. Yeah, if you want to do all these things, writing a script and recording footage and recording a voiceover, etc., 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 consider becoming a YouTuber instead of a game developer. Because if you enjoy this stuff a lot more, then become a game dev YouTuber. That's a little bit of a slight towards some game dev YouTubers who seem to infinitely work on projects and really just make shitty clickbaity YouTube videos. But besides that point, yeah, if you really enjoy these things more than actual game development, then become a YouTuber instead of a game developer. You can still talk about game dev, but don't fool yourself. Don't waste time then developing games when you just want to talk about game dev. Like, that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But at least be honest to yourself about that. I think that is really important. So that's something I wanted to mention. So ultimately, I think that is really all I want to say about why I think devlogs are a bad idea. They cost a lot of time. They usually bring rarely any results. There's a lot of time missed on actually developing your game, and ultimately, because of the previously mentioned things, you won't see the results you want to. You'll get demotivated, and 9 out of 10 times you'll end up quitting your project, which is a real shame. Because I have a feeling that a lot of good projects die that way. Because people are like, okay, I gotta start marketing. What do I do? Devlog, right? And it's like, no, please don't do that. And I think to drive my point home, I haven't tested this, but let's find out, shall we? Let me just switch to the right YouTube account, so it's not my personal YouTube account. Can't have you see all the shit I watch. So if I were, this is not much better. If I were to, actually what we'll do is actually much better. Hold on. I've got a much better idea. There we go. Complete privacy, am I right? If we go to youtube.com and we accept everything. Oh God. Okay, we see some weird shit, but okay. If we go to youtube.com and we type in making a new game devlog. So if I go to filters and I go to, let's see, upload date, let's say this month. Let's be generous. Actually, let's be a little less generous. Let's say this week. Actually, no, no. Well, I'm driving my point home. Just today. Only today. Only today, in the last 24 hours. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 500. There is so much content. There is so much game devlog content. Don't do this to yourself. Please don't do this to yourself. Please. Oh man, yeah. Hey Jaguar, how you doing, mate? Looks like you missed a good bit. It's okay. Yeah, you can either, I think even in Twitch you can skip back to the beginning, I think, unless you of course want to follow the rest of me live right now. But yeah, I will upload this as a YouTube video because I think we made some great points. We talked about some great stuff. Basically, in very short, just for you, I think game devlogs are an absolute waste of time because most of the time developers don't even know what their purpose is of the devlog, and if there is no purpose, there is no achievement, right? There is nothing you're going to get out of it. But even if you have a purpose, it takes a ton of time to write the script, to record the footage, recording the voiceover, editing the video, uploading it to YouTube, spending time doing and learning these things. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, become a YouTuber instead of a game developer, right? You'll have a lot more fun. That's like an extra side note. Then additionally, if your goal is like to gain traction on your devlogs, then you need to spend extra time learning things like discoverability on platforms like YouTube, right? So that is more time down the drain. And I think we did the math down here. If you spend 10 hours on each devlog, which is a pretty reasonable number, I'd say, right? Doing everything from start to finish, 10 hours, I think that's pretty reasonable. And you upload 10 of them, and then you get 20 followers. That is 100 hours spent for 20 followers. So if we do 100 devlogs, which is a lot, that is a lot of devlogs. That is 1,000 hours spent for 200 followers. Even if we go crazy and we say there's 100 followers, right? That means you only got 1,000 followers after spending 1,000 hours. That is 42-ish full-time days that you're spending on gaining 1,000 followers and that you're not spending on making your game. Is that worth it? That is basically the backbone of this whole game dev topic. Whether that time investment is worth it according to every individual developer. But yeah, the rest of it I'll let you rewatch on YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, that's my game dev topic. That's my conclusion on why I think game devlogs are a waste of time and effort and energy. So yay! Now, if there are people in chat, hey Antius, how you doing, mate? If there are people in chat who really enjoyed this game dev topic, specifically what we talked about, there is a link under the stream that says Discord. I think it says Discord, where we have a Discord server for everyone in the stream and everything we talk about. And basically, you can go there and you can just at me, and then we can chat about it more. We can chat about your questions, anything at all, stuff like that. Link is down there somewhere. You'll find it. I'm sure you'll find it. It's great UX. Twitch has best UX. That's not true. Anyway, so with that out of the way, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope both Jago and Antius are doing well. So that puts that into perspective. Let me go and save this. Yeah, there we go. I'm so glad that didn't open up a different folder, because I would have 100,000% broken NDA if that would have opened up a different folder, which would have been bad. Let's see, script additions, devlogs are terrible. Yeah. Oh yeah, so the bot is kind of dead, because I forgot the login. That is basically it. That is basically the whole reason. Like it's functional. It should work. But it doesn't. Twitch page doesn't have a Discord link. No! No! How could I? How could I lie to people? But I can share it. I can share the link. Edit link. 7 days. Yeah. Copy button. And then I'm gonna pop it into chat. Like that. Bonk. Yeah, in order to fix this, I need to generate a token. For which I need to log in, and I've got no idea what my login was. Nope. I've no idea what my login was. So the bot doesn't work. But I see a great comment there from Antius. Dev blogs are a great idea. Informs both your community and potential investors of your progress and direction. Yes. I think dev blogs, so without the video aspect, I think those are already like a lot better because it takes you a lot less time to finish those up. I think if you were to spend, I don't know, 2 hours on writing a blog about your game, I think that's pretty reasonable, especially because like you said, it informs your community and potential investors. Even though for potential investors, I think there are better ways to reach out to those. I think investors are currently already bombarded by millions of, well, not millions, but probably dozens of pitches and blogs and everything every day. And so maybe they're not entirely the right target audience, but ultimately, if the blog part does inform your community about the progress and the direction, and that starts to gain traction, then of course, you know, any game that starts getting big that starts getting a lot of traction would automatically attract the attention of, well, quite a few publishers, quite a few investors, and so that might be a good idea. So I agree, dev blogs are already a lot better than dev vlogs, video logs. Jesus Christ, I have to make a clear distinction between the words there. So that's definitely true. But even there, I think there are probably things you can do. There's probably things you can do to optimize it towards the more reader format, right? Because you can't just take a script and kind of like paste that onto a web page and then call it a day. There has to still be a few pieces of visual content that people can look at and kind of go like, okay, what's going on here, right? So, but yeah, that is definitely a lot better. You post yours monthly at the end of the sprint, right? So you guys do 4-week sprints then, if it's monthly. That I'm making the assumption, but I'm gonna guess that's right. Yeah. Hey, look, if that works, then, and if that's motivation for you guys to stick to the Agile framework and have something presentable by the end of the month, then that's great. Then that is super lovely. Then it's a tool for you guys to keep yourselves accountable, to show off progress, right? Which is super important when we're talking about an Agile framework, and to just generally have something to talk about. It really forces you guys to focus on, okay, what can we present, which is important. If you're in game development for the commercial aspect, which is totally fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that is super important. Then having some kind of mechanism that's going to force you to talk about the presentable things, super important. I think, oh, actually, yeah, I have a good example of this. If we go into Steam, we're going to go to one of my favorite games. For the person that can guess it, congratulations, you know me the best. If we take a look at Factorio, Titanfall 2 and Ultimate Edition. Oh, I love Titanfall 2. It's a great game. If we take a look at Factorio, what they did, they had their Friday facts, basically dev blog, right? Where they basically kept on. Can I load more activity, please? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not Rust. God, Jesus. I remember playing Rust a few years ago. That was one hell of an experience. Um, yeah, but I can't learn more activity. But they basically had their Friday Facts, uh, uh, well, dev blogs, and it was really solid. It was really, really good. It's now opening here now. Like, it was super insightful. It was always to the point, and it was clear in showing what it wanted to show. And so it was informative. The community loved it. They could share their progress and their direction of things. Yeah, look, they're even going into like technical detail in some things, which is just, which might be too much. You may not want to do this, but you could, right? Obviously, they show nice gifs for the people that are, less technically inclined and just want to see it, right? That are more visual in that way. Um, and they basically just inform you on everything, everything you're doing, which I think is incredible. And of course, these guys are 100,000% dedicated to it. Like, seriously, they're super, super dedicated. Um, and they probably have someone full time working on this. And if they don't, then even more. Congrats to them for figuring this out the way they have. Um, but yeah, if you're gonna do dev blogs, there is a lot of good examples out there, which gives quite a lot of incentive to do similar things, right? Similar things that work for your community. So yeah, again, a great point, Antius. Dev blogs are a worthwhile investment. That is definitely true. That is absolutely true. Factorial dev blogs are really good. I love the design technical sign on. I agree. They were always super like, even though personally I don't understand most. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go back and just go to a different one because if we go down to, I don't know, let's say page let's go down to page 6 page 6. If we take a look at, new pathfinding algorithm. So even this, I'm not a very technical guy. Like, seriously, I'm not. And you guys, for those that have seen me blueprint, you know I'm not that much of a technical guy. But doing stuff like this, visually showing me what is going on in the background, really helps me understand what their systems are doing. Which is such a help for me as a developer, but also for me as a fan. Oh, we should see. Oh, fuck. There you go. Thanks for reminding me. Seeing this stuff is so helpful because it's literally showing us what they're about to, what they explained a little bit at the top already, but also what they're going to explain in the rest of the blog post. They're showing us, okay, this entity wants to go over there. This is how our pathfinding system, I think, used to work. Yeah, I think this is how it used to work. And then I think further down, I can't read it fast enough, but I think, yeah, there you go. Further down, they start explaining how they basically changed the system into a much larger node-based system where the AI had to make like much less or lesser a lesser amount of decisions in order to get to where it needed to be, which is just, it's just doing it visual in this way. It's just incredible. And then they also shared community content, which is just the guys from Factorio have their shit together, or have their shit together. I know they're still working on an expansion, and I keep bothering them about it as much as I can because I want it, I need my drug. But I'll have to keep waiting until then. So dev blogs, 100% recommend. If you can take the time for it and you explain stuff in detail, then I think this is really, really great. I also love that picture. Such a great picture. Awesome picture. Anyway, any more questions about devlogs, dev blogs, anything else indie or AAA related? Any industry news you might want to discuss? throw it out there. We can discuss stuff. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the music back on. If I can actually hear it. Yes. All right. Because there's an extra thing I want to talk about. Specifically, this. But yeah, if there's any questions, fire away. Bang, bang. So, paper ZD, or ZD, or whatever you want to say. It is basically, and it basically already says it here, animation graph and notify support for 2D development. It's free. It is free. For the love of God, even if you will never make a 2D project in your life in Unreal, just get it. It's free. It is 100% free. For life. With every update that comes in the future. I don't know how else to explain this. Like, even if you don't have an Epic Games account and you've never used Unreal before, make an account, go to the marketplace, and download this. What if Unity disappears in 2 years from now from financial mismanagement? If that comes true, by the way, I'm on that same day I'll buy a lottery ticket. 2 years from now. That's 4th of September 2024. If that happens, and you need to switch to a different engine, and you don't want to go into the direction of Godot, and so you decide to use Paper 2D and Unreal Engine. Oh no! Unity's not disappearing. No. I'm just. Oh god, I've spread a rumor now. Shit. No. I was just hypothesizing. You know, in case in 2 years from now, Unity disappears. There was purely a hypothesis. Unity is not disappearing. It's definitely not. Not as far as I can tell. But if it were to, hypothetically speaking, if it were to, and you had to switch to a different engine, and so you chose Unreal, and you started using Paper 2D, and you realize, shit, they don't have an animation graph, or an easy-to-use animation graph, then, you know, this plugin would have been mighty useful. But what if it's not free by then? Right? What if you didn't have to pay for it? That'd be a real shame. So, really, in a really long roundabout way, what I'm trying to say is download the goddamn plugin. That is really all I'm trying to say here. I've done it. Actually, it's in my cart. I'm gonna purchase this now, because it's free. I don't have to purchase it. I can just click checkout, and then it's gonna tell me, oh, did it just? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And I can choose to install it to the engine, and that's it. So yeah, I just wanted to call this out because I think it's really important. Anyway, there's a game release tomorrow that I'm watching carefully. Chambers of Devious Design releases tomorrow on Steam. On Steam, you say? Let's have a look-see, shall we? Chambers of Devious Design. Ooh. Build me a lair and make it devious. Oh. Tactical turn-based base building. Ah. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is actually quite nice. There's actually a really creative way of making a new type of roguelike. Yeah, with pretty nice designs and a pretty good visual style. This looks nice. This looks pretty... yeah, this looks pretty cool. I might just sneakily wishlist this. It is the second game by Finnish solo dev, Red Beak Games. Which other game have they done? Mortal Glory. Have I heard of this? I have a feeling I heard of this. But that might just be talking about something else. I'm not entirely sure. But hey, second game means that the previous one did relatively well. At least I like to think so. 460 reviews. That's pretty good and very positive. That's pretty good. That is seriously pretty good. If we check out what the rough sales would have been, that is roughly 18,860 sales, which at a price point of $7.99, not counting the DLC, times $7.99. Now, if we take a rough, I don't know, if we take 70% of that instead, for accounting for any sales or returns or whatever, that's not bad. I mean, who am I kidding? That is really fucking good. 100K. Well, he took 2 years to make the next game. That's 50K a year. I'm not sure how long he took in the game before that. Oh, you showed the figures. Oh, awesome. That is even better. Is it anywhere close to this number? I'd like to know. It made over 150K. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so the original number was pretty accurate. Yeah. So, there you go. And, I mean, Chambers of Thieves' design looks good. I'd love to know how many wishlists there are and what the conversion rate would be. Maybe I'll connect with this dev and see if he's up for just a nice chat on stream, you know, where we can ask him all kinds of questions. That might be nice to do. That might be really nice to do. Jago, if you know him personally, do you happen to know him personally? Because if so, I'd love to have a chat if he's open to it. That'd be really nice. I think that'd be really cool. All right, awesome. So what else do we want to talk about? Because I kind of have like 25 minutes left, and I kind of don't want to start up the engine for that. 25 minutes of development is not that much. So ultimately what we could do, which is a great favorite activity of mine, is to go onto Reddit and answer questions there. But I'd love to answer questions from you guys as well. We can... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. It's not what you guys think it is. It is obviously whatever the fuck that is. But that is obviously not great to be greeted by. Christ. Oh man, people should have put a not safe for work tag on that. Oh, you're on the testing credits. Nice. Congratulations, dude. That is awesome. Okay, I'm definitely gonna purchase it tomorrow then, because it's coming out tomorrow, right? I think that's what you mentioned. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, I'll purchase it. I'll play it. I might even play it on stream. We could do that, right? Where I play it on stream, we talk about it, we chat about it, you know, etc., etc. I think that'd be really cool. Also, why did I go to indie dev? I should go into game dev. Here the most spiciest questions are asked. Question. What is the best way to release a demo prologue or a vertical slice? itch.io or Game Jolt, in my opinion. That is, oh wait, the question elaborates. A full game versus a full game with restriction or a small scaled down version. What are the pros and the cons of each? I'm not trying to be stingy, but debating if I should put the entire game as is or build a scaled down version. This sounds like a lot of time and effort thought about something that really doesn't matter. If you are going to show a vertical slice to gain feedback, I presume, I would highly recommend polishing up one level / section and posting that on r/play my game or on itch.io or Game Jolt. What is the Game Jolt link again? Game Jolt. It's just gamejolt.com. Cool. Gamejolt.com. If you already have a full game, just post the full thing if you are not intending to make any money off it. No point in spending extra time after building the full game to then post a limited version of the full game. Yeah. Interesting question. Alright, next one. How does modding work for games that don't support mods? I mean, someone have to crack it, get the game files, make those publicly available through like a torrent or whatever. And that would be it. I mean, it's basically the same. It's just not official. That's basically it. Okay, implementing probability-based events in a discrete time system. Limited version could work well. Looking at 10 minutes till dawn before the full version of 20 minutes. Yeah, but does he still have that? Does he still have the 10-minute version up? No, he doesn't. Yeah, so what I was more meaning was that when the guy posted 10 minutes till dawn, Jesus Christ, he didn't finish 20 minutes till dawn yet, right? And so if he had already finished 20 minutes till dawn, then I would have recommended to him as well, or I just post the full thing. Because afterwards it's just going to cost you extra time to make a limited version, which might not go as well as the full version, so why take that risk, right? So that's what I recommend. But if you don't already have the full game, then yeah, a limited version, just a demo, is totally fine. It's totally helpful. Answering your questions. Cool. All right, next. How do you get art? I either pay people or I get it for free of any one of the hundreds of platforms online. Which, yeah, means that mixing many different artists' styles is not great. True. But if I know that a game is going to be a commercial success, then I'll save up to pay people. Or I'll learn to do it myself. Where to find people to work with? I think, yes, actually right in here. I think it's iNet. I think. Yeah, I need a team. Yeah. There you go. Can I just copy the link to this? Oh, there's already 6 comments on it. Yeah, there you go. Cool. What type of turn-based system do you prefer? Group choice, order based on speed. Pokemon 2 versus 2. Group choice, order choice, Mario plus Rabbids. Timeline based. XCOM Chimera Squad. Oh, they're explaining comments. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what I prefer. I guess it matters much more about what kind of aesthetic and dynamic you want to achieve. I guess that's a much more important question to ask. How do you call monsters in another way? Like, I know words mob and monster, but is there another words? As a collective noun for monsters, enemies, opponents, but specifically like thematically monsters? I don't know. Monsters synonyms. Synonym. Mythical creature. Fabulous creature. Titan. Brobdingnag. What is that? What is that word? Yeah, creatures. Creatures could totally work. What is this word, though? Brobdingnagian. What? I've never seen this. How is this said? Hold on. Music, shut up. We're doing very important research here.
Brobdingnagian. Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Hey guys, I have a game with
Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagians. I have a game with Brobdingnagians. I didn't even teach Charlotte how to say it.
Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Ah, yes. Do it slowly for me, please.
Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Yes. Oh, you can also do the American.
Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Hey, fellas.
Brobdingnagian.
Have you seen that Brobdingnagian out there? Yeehaw.
Brobdingnagian.
Brobdingnagian. Oh man, is Brobdingnagian a real world? What a real word. Apparently it's in the dictionary. Of huge size, gigantic, tremendous, inhabitant of Brobdingnag, a being of tremendous size or giant. This feels like it's folklore or something. Oh god, let's go. Oh no. Oh no, this is an actual... People don't like to pronounce Brobdingnagian. Apparently, with 2 out of 5 stars. Excellent. I am going to add this to the list of comments. I did some Googling and found the word Brobdingnagian. If you want to know how to pronounce it. No copy pasting. Fine, I'll retype it. I'll retype it. Let's see if I can type it. Brobding. Oh, is there an H at some point? Brobdingnagian. Oh, I was kind of. Oh no, I still spelled it wrong. There's no H. There's no H. Shit. Brobdingnagian. Yeah, there we go. Even though I had it before and I've seen it like a million times by now, I still spelled it wrong. Excellent. If you want to know how to pronounce it, can I link towards the pronunciation thing? Is that possible if I just open up this link again? Ah, fuck it. I just want to say that. Which, in my opinion, is the only word I will use from now on. There we go. Brobdingnagian. The more you learn, the more you know. Alright, let's see. Oh, I've lost music. Oh yeah, because we paused music. There we go. Let's see. What else? I have a question for those who've used both Unreal and Unity. That's me. I want to make a retro FPS game like Dusk or Ultra Kill. Would it be overkill if I use UEFI for a game like this? No, Unreal is a high-end engine, or even a build of an empty scene as a big size. Not really. But also Unreal is far better for FPS types games. Which one would you suggest for me to use? Please don't consider about my skill on engines. I'm just wondering which one would be better to use for that kind of game. Yep. This is again the most important answer. An engine is a tool. Whatever works for you, works for you. I mean, Dusk and Ultra Kill were both made with Unity. Yeah, but then again, it's not the engine that determines how the game looks and feels to the player. And yeah, an empty scene has a big size. No. A fully empty scene is like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 megabytes? Something like that. As in a shipping build, I'm talking about. Like a development build, sure, because it has a lot of engine tools, but a shipping build will have 10, 20 megabytes, maybe, at most. So, yeah, that's a wrong assumption, I'm afraid. Let's see, what else is out here? What the fuck is this? Excuse my language. Suggestion of marketing agent that does both offline and online promotion nationwide. Hi, I'm not a dev myself, but I work closely with out-of-state devs who want market access into the US. They are currently looking for a nationwide marketing agency that can do both online and offline promotion for the upcoming mobile platform title. If you have any recommendations on marketing agents that will be able to pull off their needs, I would truly appreciate it. Oof. Imagine doing offline marketing for a unknown upcoming mobile platform title. Ugh, this hurts my bones. Jesus. Okay. How do we even begin answering this without making it a super long story? God. I'll have deep pockets, yeah. Yeah, let's start with that. Unless the devs have a lot of money to spend, I would highly recommend not working with a marketing agency. Instead, looking at options like AdMop or Google Ads to have a lot more control over budget and direction, and being able to, not having to spend upwards of 50k at least for this kind of marketing. Also, offline marketing for mobile titles is never done. The online, unless you are part of King, for example. And even then, it's so limited. Like stuff like Candy Crush, Heyday, Clash of Clans, whatever else they have under the King Supercell. Actually, no, sorry, King for Candy Crush, Supercell for Heyday and Clash of Clans. And actually, BeatStar is now also part of Supercell. Even they do barely any offline marketing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, might as well. It's not gonna matter whether it's 50k, or whoa, please don't do that. Yeah, whether it's 50k or 500k, it doesn't matter. These devs won't have that kind of money. And if they do, why the fuck are they spending it on a mobile platform, a mobile title? Come on, this is so unnecessary. King or Supercell. Yeah, I'll be the guy. We'll be the people that will tell them. I can't get paid. My country doesn't accept PayPal or Visa, and all websites like HI only pay you with PayPal. So is there any way I can get paid? Your country doesn't accept PayPal or Visa. Huh. I'm just reading the first response there, because in the first case, a potential solution would be to open a company operating elsewhere and transfer funds to your efforts. I live in Algeria. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm sure there's ways to do it. And apparently PayPal does have an Algerian presence, so there you go. Someone else solved it. Ooh, NDA questions. I love those. Especially when they're asked on Reddit, the best place. Oh, I've seen this post actually. I read this post earlier today. Yeah, if I worked on a project with NDA, but my name was on the credits, does this mean I can say that I worked on it? Yes. If your name is physically on the credits, like it says Pat Thacker or whatever. It says Pat Thacker tested this game. Then Pat Thacker, love that name. Pat Thacker is allowed to say that they tested that game, because it's stupid otherwise. Like there is not going to be any enforceable NDA, and that's an important difference here. There isn't any enforceable NDA that is going to say we're going to put your name on this project in the credits, but once it releases, you're still not allowed to talk about the fact that you worked on it. However, and that's an important distinction here, if it says the company that Pat Thacker works for is on the credits, so I don't know if it's like QA testing company, whatever, then yeah, Pat Thacker can probably not say that he specifically worked on it. He can say, I work for this company, and then other people can make the link of what's going on. right? But yeah, like Jago said, you probably cannot tell what you specifically did. Just generic, right? You've worked on it, but what? I don't know, right? It's the same with me and Sackboy. I can say I worked on it. I can information that is in the public domain, I can share and reiterate upon, but I can't specifically say I did this, this, and this, and unless it's for employment or education purposes, then Sumo was pretty generous in that. Then I can, of course, say it. But like to the outside world, I can't be too specific. I can't talk about things that went wrong. I can't talk about specific people that did stuff wrong. I can't talk about any of those kinds of things. I can just talk about I worked on Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I had a really great time. I learned all of these things. And that's it. That's basically it. So, yeah. But yeah, ultimately, check out what your NDA says. Talk to a lawyer if you're really unsure. But if your name is physically in the credits, then yeah. There's not going to be any judge that's going to go like, yeah, it makes sense that you can't talk about this. You're wrong. Pay a fine. There's also no company in the world making games that would spend money on a legal case because you were talking to people online or to friends or family about the fact that you worked on this game of which your name is in the credits. There's going to be no company sick enough to pursue that because they know they're going to lose. In every reasonable court in the world, they're going to lose that. So, yeah. I read this question earlier today, so I knew what to say. Game dev book recommendations. I have a few, but I think I already shared them. Game developing for a living. Last question. This is the last question. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, I know the answer to this one, so we'll also include that one. Oh no, stop using Twitter. Stop using Twitter for game dev marketing. Oh, it's so bad. Oh no. I need to make a game dev topic about this. Stop it. So, oh god. Yes, this guy already posted a big old post. I'm going to read this later because I do love his responses to most of these posts. Or their, I have no idea if they're what they identify as, so I'll just say their. I love their responses on most Reddit posts. In short, Twitter is always hailed as this Holy Mary for game dev marketing, but it's really not. You know which other people are on there on Twitter looking for game dev content? Other game developers, which is not your audience. Now, if you're making a Stardew Valley-esque game and you start posting it on Twitter and you start using the tags indie game, screenshot Saturday, Wednesday workday, or whatever other set hashtags there are, guess who are going to find you? Game developers, because they're using the same hashtags. There's going to be no gamers that are going to type in hashtag screenshot Saturday or hashtag indie game. No, they'll type in hashtag Stardew Valley. Or not even hashtag, they'll just type in Stardew Valley. Or they'll be following Concerned Ape, or they'll be following the Stardew Valley account, or whatever. So if you really want to market your game, you have to go where your people are. And it might be, maybe, that some of these people are on Twitter, but most likely they're not. And even if they were, it's not a very well-defined segment, right? So instead, you're probably much better off, and this is on a hunch. You're probably much better off going to r/Stardew Valley. Now, likely, you're not allowed to advertise your own game here, I reckon. If I if I take a look-see at the rules. Actually, limits on promotion. Following may not be posted directly to the sublist, but unofficial handmade merch, selling exchange items. Yeah, self-promo is allowed in the weekly thread. So maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you would necessarily interpret these rules. But yeah. So go where your players are is my point. And Twitter is not the place to go. It's just not. It's just really, really not. I feel like there's a perception bubble in indie game dev community. Like, you hear that using asset graphics is banned in finished games, but the actual customers probably do not care. Only devs recognize those assets. Yeah, and even, most of the time, devs don't recognize those assets either. Because, as a group of game developers, we love to think that we're able to recognize a lot of stuff, but most of the time we can't. It takes a pretty trained eye to be able to spot what is from an asset pack and what is just an artist trying their best to make stuff fit together but not entirely succeeding. So it's, and yeah, like I said, gamers won't care, consumers won't care, because what they're looking for is a fun game to play or a beautiful game to play. Yeah, and ultimately a fun game to play. They don't care that it comes out of an asset pack. They don't give a shit. All they care about is having fun and that their dollars are worth it. That is it. That is literally it. So yeah. I hope I don't know. I hope that little rant on Twitter is yeah, here we go. Here we go. Do you search games as a player on Twitter? Do you know any person who search games as a player on Twitter? Yeah. No. It's all too random. It's all too algorithmy. I'm gonna save this post because I want to make a response on this, but I don't have the time to do it right now, so I'll save it and do it later. Let's see. Why are there not so much games with parkour systems similar to Assassin's Creed? Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good answer. It's just really hard to do. Yeah, that's it. It's hard to do. It's hard to get smooth. Even Assassin's Creed took, well, 5-6 years to get it really right. And they were dealing with the technical limitation. We don't even have the technical limitations anymore today. But even now, it is still really hard to get right. So, yeah. That's why. Game developing for a living. I have 2 years left of high school. I'm planning to move to open education. I'm planning to have a university degree instead. I'll focus on developing a game by myself. Programming is my hobby. I make desktop website scripts, Discord bots, etc. for personal use. I want to do it for a living too. Reason I had a nice 2D game idea and I thought getting into games could be good for me. I can learn games like Go Dot, start developing the game, build an audience, start social media, and curators. Don't use curators, they're scammers. They're not all scammers, but curators are just pointless. Then start a Kickstarter for funding. I know developing a game for production is not an easy job, and that's why I'm here. I have a few questions. Is it the right choice to focus on game development? Should I try something else related to programming, of course? If this is your first question, this shouldn't be a question. The thing should be, you want to focus on game development. What is the risk of failure? 99.9%, at least. Do hard work in a good game. Yes. Can we please zoom in on this? Do hard work and a good game bring success? Oh, fuck. I'm in a mood today. Like, seriously. Oh man, but this hurts my brain. This really hurts my brain. Like, I am 100% for everyone getting into game development. Like, it is the best hobby to have in the world, in my opinion. Right? I'm 100% biased, but it really is. But damn. Do hard work and a good game bring success? Yes, absolutely. But it's because it's a good game and you work very hard on it. Yeah. Well, no, actually, no, I want to change my answer. No, it doesn't have to. You could totally still fail with a good game and a lot of hard work. Because the risk of failure is super high. Super, super high. Should I build a team instead of making the artwork, music, etc. by myself? Maybe. I don't know. How good are you at all the other things yourself? And building a team? Probably not. I'll make a game dev topic about it because, you know, it's a good topic to talk about. But no, you probably don't want to build a team. You probably just want to figure stuff out yourself first. You don't have to make everything yourself. You can use asset packs. Yay! Is there anything else you want to share with me? I would like to hear your experiences. If nobody knows about the game, it'll be a flavor regardless of hard work. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Have a nice day. Thank you. I hope you have a nice day as well, Sebi Hotza. Yes. Do you know how to make $1 million on game development? Start with $10 million. Yeah, okay, so a lot of these people are... Jesus Christ. This dude. Yo. This is one hell of a response. I love this. I'm going to read this later on. Let me save the comment. This is excellent. Yeah, I can already tell that this guy will have it on point. But I'm going to read through it and see if I can add anything to it. But that was all of the questions. That was all of the things. So if I move back to here, then we've come to the end of another great stream. What I think was a great stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that I did. We had a great game dev topic. We then discussed some great games that are coming up. We discussed blogs as well, besides the devlogs. And we answered some great questions on Reddit that hopefully helps people out. We'll see. We'll see. So what we'll do in the upcoming week is, or what I'll try to do, is do an extra stream, a little bonus stream, to also play, what was it called again? Chambers of Devious Design. So that we can talk about it, chat about it, see what we like, see what we don't like, you know, etc., 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 and just figure it out, right? So, yeah, Jagu, if you have a link to like a Discord or a YouTube channel or something of the developer of the game, then by all means send it my way, because then I can just have a look, already, you know, sneak around a bit, see what's going on, and take it into account for you know, for when we do the stream. Alright, so that's everything. I hope you all had fun. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see each other next time. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see each other next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.